Look, I'm kind of a wireless headphone nut. I own Sony WH1000XM4s and the Bose 700s, two of the leading models in the industry. And I had the AirPods Max for like a minute, but I hated them so bad, so I like rage sold them. So to me, I think the Sony and Bose are both awesome headsets. So I was really psyched to hear when Sony announced the XM5s. And because they're all new and shiny, not really shiny, but they're kind of plastic. And here they are. Not as much as aluminum as the Apples have, but that's not really important because they're actually lighter. They're super light. So summer's here, and as you know, wireless headphones can get a little hot, especially over the ear. Headphones can get hot on hot days outside. It's like wearing earmuffs on the beach. It's kind of weird, right? But if you can get past the little sweaty ears, or if you can use them indoors or on airplanes where the climate's controlled, you should be a little excited like I was. Oh, they just feel great. The Sony WH1000XM5 headphones feature what Sony advertises industry-leading noise cancellation. And they do deliver, they're not lying. And with Bluetooth 5.2 and Sony's QN1 and V1 chips, the XM5s have dual processors. That's two compared to the lonely single processor of the XM4 and the Bose. Now these two processors, what they do is they control I didn't mistake, there's 8 microphones for crazy accurate noise cancellation. Think there's like a little computer inside here, like a little dude running a computer actually sampling noise from fans. Like right now, I got an air conditioner, airplane engines, motors, and consistent noise like that. And it creates an identical but perfect opposite wave, so they kind of cancel each other out. And this time, the dual processors are capable of filtering even higher frequency noises, including some voices. In a second, I'll tell you why that's pretty cool. It's really pretty amazing tech. And really, the first time you hear this, it's like magic. It'll look a little something like this. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm not lying. The first time you try this, it's going to blow your mind too. So with the XM5s, noise canceling is automatically optimized. You don't have to set it. Like the XM4s, it's based on your wearing conditions and your environment. You don't have to do anything. It knows if you're sitting. It knows if you're walking. It knows if you're in an airport, etc. So that is all very, very cool tech. No, the noise reduction probably won't completely cancel a very loud, angry girlfriend or an annoying crying baby. But the over-the-ear closed design may help dull those annoying sounds. So there's a win there. Now, a very small cadre of people claim they become nauseous while wearing noise-canceling headphones. I don't know why, some kind of physiological response, and especially the old model XM4s. Personally, I've never experienced this. I don't know anybody who's tried mine who's experienced this, but be aware that there is a potential that it could happen. Some people could get nauseous. So you can disable the noise reduction or noise cancellation if you need to. Hands-free calling with 4 beam-forming microphones on this guy. There's 4 microphones for your voice, which means precise voice pickup and really, really clear voice transmission using advanced audio signal processing. Some people thought the WH1000XM4s were too snug. I thought they felt great. I love these headphones. I have no problem with these at all. But they've improved the fit. They're a little less snug, a little more lightweight with like a soft fit fake leather. And the material fits snugly, but a little less pressure on your ears. So if that bothered you with the XM4s, the XM5s will be great. And they also, since they're above the ears, they're covering your ears, they're going to cancel a lot of the external sounds you don't want to hear. There were a few other design changes. The XM5s aren't foldable like the XM4s. XM4s fold up really neat, and you can do some weird stuff. There's a redesigned case that's kind of collapsible, so it'll enable you to save room in your backpacks or your bags when you're actually wearing your headphones. So that's kind of cool. You really don't need it to be a hard case when you're not wearing them. And with up to 30 hours of battery life, you'll have pretty much enough power to travel about halfway to the moon in one of Elon Musk's rockets. But in case you forgot to charge fully and you're in a hurry, you can actually get 3 hours worth of listening after just 3 minutes. 3 hours for 3 minutes with an optional AC adapter. I'm looking into the details of that. It does not come with the headphones, but you can get one of those too. And unfortunately, the in-flight plug adapter, this dinosaur, is not included with the XM5s, but who uses these things? And I don't think I've ever taken it out of the case. It's so old school. Fortunately, there's still an aux-in for you old school holdouts, so if you want to take advantage of some high quality music, you can do that with the aux-in. The touch controls have survived, where you can pause, play, skip tracks, control volume by sliding your finger up. This is pretty cool. And you can activate your voice assistant and answer phone calls, obviously. And you can also set the speak to chat. That's lived on too, whereas you start a conversation, it automatically stops the noise cancellation in music and lets in the ambient sound so you can actually hear, so you don't just see this, you know what I mean? And it knows when you take them off, so it pauses your music, and then when you put them back on, the music starts again. But here's the question. What's the important thing? How do they sound? Well, Sony has popped brand new, more rigid 30 millimeter carbon fiber drivers in the XM5s. So I'd say they have more of an audiophile sound profile with slightly more balanced sound. I think the clarity is a little bit better, and I think the bass is more accurate. You know, that's important if you listen to like real music. You know what I'm talking about, with actual, you know, instruments like rock, jazz, country, R&B, classical, things like that. The XM4s have bigger. They have 40 millimeter drivers, which are probably going to be a little bit better for hip hop and other sloppy bass tracks. You know what I'm talking about. So the XM5s will also handle hip hop very well, but they probably won't have the head vibrating, tinnitus inducing bass many young people want with their hip hop music. So the XM4s have a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier bass, but I think the XM5s are more accurate. The XM5s support LDAC and spatial 3D audio, whatever that is, and they've also upgraded their Sony Music Studio's Edge AI music algorithm, which somehow magically guesses what musical dynamics were lost during compression and then tries to replace that so everything sounds really crisp and clean without losing the bass that's so necessary in most of today's popular music, if you know what I mean. Or anything else for that matter, the other instrumentation as well that's lost during compression. Now, I have heard that some folks claim the MX4s sounded muddy, if you will, with some music. I didn't notice that, but I'm a music producer, so I'm familiar with equalization, which you can do in the phone, on the software, and there are about 20 presets, including several you can create yourself, but you know, amateurs, they go, hey, there's an EQ, I didn't know, how do you do that? So I didn't have that problem. I didn't think they sounded muddy at all. Now let's talk about watching movies. Even without, and this was a big complaint, even without the Qualcomm aptX low latency chip, which was probably complained about by Qualcomm employees, Ed, both my XM4s and XM5s allowed me to watch a complete movie on Netflix on my 2022 Samsung Frame television wirelessly from 10 plus feet away with zero loss and synchronization of the mouth and speech.
All right. Good do business with you. Okay, listen up, everybody. Turn up your volumes. Announcement. I got good news. We're extending arts and crafts time by 4 hours today.
My fingers hurt. What's that? My fingers hurt.
Oh, well. Now your back's gonna hurt. Because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? I didn't think so.
Plus, like my XM4s, the XM5 still have the dual Bluetooth pairing, so you can pair them with 2 devices at the same time and then switch back and forth almost seamlessly between them. I got a phone call while I was watching the movie, and it opted to take the phone call over the TV. So that's a pretty cool feature if you use them for your phone, but you might be able to actually watch YouTube videos at work on your computer, but you probably shouldn't tell your boss about that. You know, just keep that on the DL. But you can pair 2 devices, 2 Bluetooth devices with these or the XM4s, as a matter of fact. And the XM5s also work with Google Assist, Alexa, and you can even do Siri with them too. You can even, this is pretty cool, you can set up a Spotify playback with a couple of taps. Try that on your AirPods Max. They're like, no, we don't do Spotify. Apple, okay? So this is pretty cool. You can press this button a couple of times and you can set that up in the software. So the big win seems to be a vast improvement in the sound of your voice during phone calls. The quality is just, I didn't know it could get better, but apparently it got better. It's actually pretty impressive when it comes to calling and speaking to people in louder rooms. I've made some test calls on busy streets and on windy sidewalks, and my callee, the person I called, said she couldn't tell I was actually outside, outdoors. So that was pretty mind-blowing. It sounded like I was in a quiet room, so that's pretty neat because it's really loud outside. Can you hear me now? 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 Apparently, the 4 beam-forming microphones, which you can see here, they've got a little, you kind of see orange in here, and the dual processor software can recognize your voice and somehow block out a lot of that background noise. I mean, you can still probably hear tires screeching and car alarms and gunshots, you know, things that you'll typically hear in the city. But a lot of that noise is just gone. It's strange, right? The person you're calling won't be able to hear that stuff. It's like magic. It really is. So are the XM5s worth the upgrade? Well, if you have the XM4s and you think your call quality is shaky, or if you think the sound's muddy, then the XM5s are probably the way to go. You can sell your sweaty old XM4s on Craigslist. If you're moving from Bose's noise-canceling 700s or quiet comfort 45s, well, the new dual processors and 8 microphone array will probably provide some noticeable improvements. Plus, the dual Bluetooth sync, you've got some new features that are definitely worth looking into. And if you're like me and you're done with your AirPods Max and you prefer better compatibility with non-Apple stuff, including Android phones, you know, PCs, or Sony and Samsung smart TVs, well, the upgrade's a no-brainer, you know what I mean? I think they sound great. They look great. I'm digging the case on them, and I think these are my new everyday headphones, the Sony XM5s. Check them out.